Yo, what is up guys, and today we're going to be talking about the rise to stardom of Victor Oladipo of the Indiana Pacers. But if you like my content and you like this video, please like and subscribe and let's hop right into it. Victor Oladipo is a 6'4" shooting guard who went to the University of Indiana. There, he was an absolute beast. I mean, he just tore up the competition year in and year out. And in his junior year, he averaged 13.6 points, 6.3 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 2.2 steals. He was absolutely killing it, shooting 44% from 3. That was definitely a good sign going into the future. A guy shooting 44% from 3, that is absolutely crazy. I mean, that team was so fun to watch with him and Cody Zeller at Indiana. They were so good. Victor Oladipo was crazy. I mean, 13 points isn't anything crazy, but you know what? A top team in college basketball, that's pretty good. That was good enough to get him the second overall pick in the 2013 NBA draft. And you could argue that he should have been the number 1 overall pick due to the fact that Anthony Bennett was the number 1 overall pick, and we saw how his career turned out. But he started off his career pretty good. I mean, he was a guy that didn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. I mean, his second year in the league at the age of 22 years old, you know, he averaged 17.9 points. That's pretty good. You know, he shot 80% from the line. He shot 44% from the field, 34% from 3. He also had 4.2 rebounds, 4.1 assists, 1.7 steals. I mean, that's really good for a second-year player, and he wasn't talked about much at all. And then after his third season in a draft night trade, he was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder in a trade that involved Serge Ibaka. Now, I am an OKC fan, and when this happened, I was going crazy. I was so excited. I love watching this guy in college. I thought him, Russell Westbrook, KD, that was going to be a nice trio. We also had talks of, you know, getting Al Horford. I was really excited, but as you guys know, to my surprise, Kevin Durant ends up leaving us for the Golden State Warriors. You know, we're not going to really talk about that. So he was kind of left with just him and Russell Westbrook, and that didn't really fit in too well. I mean, Russell Westbrook was a guy that wasn't, you know, didn't have a lot of good talent around him aside from Victor Oladipo. He was a one-man show. He was the guy that went out there and averaged a 30-point triple-double. He was the guy that won MVP. So he didn't really fit in too well with Victor Oladipo, and Victor Oladipo at OKC, I mean, he didn't do bad. He definitely wasn't a bad player. I mean, he averaged 15.9 points, really not that bad at all. You know, he shot decent from the field at 44%. He shot good from 3 at 36%. He had 4.3 rebounds, 2.6 assists. It just wasn't really maxing out his potential with Russell Westbrook. But this year, you know, the OKC Thunder really went out and made some crazy moves. The first trade is we surprised a lot of people and went out and traded for Paul George, giving up Domantas Sabonis, who was actually gotten in that trade that, you know, we got Victor Oladipo from. So we ended up turning Serge Ibaka into Domantas Sabonis and Victor Oladipo, and we traded both those guys to get Paul George. So technically, we traded Serge Ibaka for Paul George. Really crazy when you think about it. And we also went out and traded Doug McDermott and Enes Kanter to get Carmelo Anthony. So the summer for OKC was definitely crazy, and Victor Oladipo ends up going to the Indiana Pacers, his home, you know, city or whatever. I mean, that's where he played college. I don't know where he was born, but that's where he played college. So he's kind of coming back home, and so far this season, that's what we're talking about today. He has absolutely been destroying. I mean, he's been leading the team to W's. He's just been playing extremely well, shooting really efficiently. I mean, he's really a guy that looks like he's going to win Most Improved at this rate. I mean, right now he's averaging 25.5 points. That's amazing. 3.2 assists. 4.5 rebounds, but when you look at this guy's efficiency, that's when it gets crazy. I mean, he's shooting 88% from the line, he's shooting 50% from the field, and 47% from 3, shooting 5.3 a game. That is crazy, and it's really fun to watch this guy. And not only is he getting buckets, but he's making buckets when he needs to at the end of the game. Like we just saw him hit a buzzer beater, a step back buzzer beater against the San Antonio Spurs to win the game. So what's crazy about this whole thing is that Paul George trade, you know, Paul George requesting to be traded might have been a blessing in disguise. I mean, you got Domantas Sabonis and Victor Oladipo. Domantas Sabonis being 21 years old and Victor Oladipo being 25. Those are two guys that are going to fit the timeline of your team way better than Paul George, because Paul George is a guy that's ready to win right now. But when you have Miles Turner, now you have Victor Oladipo, you just drafted TJ Leaf, you got Domantas Sabonis. Now you're talking about a young core that's really good to build around in the future. This is a team that, as of right now, you know, Victor Oladipo is their star. People went into the season saying, you know, the Pacers could be a team that has no stars, but, you know, they got a lot of depth and they could play well and make the playoffs. Now you actually, as of right now, have a guy to give the ball to when the game's coming down the line. I mean, he's a closer in Victor Oladipo. He's proven that he's willing to take those clutch shots. I saw a cool thing on Instagram that Paul George was 0 for 20 in go-ahead buckets, like at the end of the game, in his whole entire career at the Pacers. And now you have Victor Oladipo hitting, you know, a couple in his first couple games just being on the Indiana Pacers, I mean, you definitely got a guy that I'm not going to guarantee is an all-star. I'm not going to guarantee, he's going to keep up this crazy efficiency, but I think he's a guy that's shown enough potential to know he's going to be a part of your franchise as far as, you're rebuilding going into the future. I mean, Miles Turner is a guy that people were talking about could win Most Improved this year. That is really crazy. Now, Domantas Sabonis, he's also a guy you got in the trade, and he's not been talked about much, but the guy's averaging 13 points. He's shooting 66% from the field, 33% from 3, and averaging 10 rebounds. Now, honestly, the Pacers got everything they needed out of this trade. People were talking about how they basically got nothing. Victor Oladipo, Domantas Sabonis, that wasn't worth it at all. But looking at, the timeline they have, what they needed, I mean, this team really is in good position, especially given the fact they're in the East, to really, in a couple seasons, be a good seed in the playoffs. That's just is what it is. I mean, TJ Leaf gets better. You get some free agents. Miles Turner really comes into himself. You got a 27-year-old Victor Oladipo. I mean, the team could be good going in the future, and it's really just fun to see. I like what we got going on in Indiana. But that's it for you guys. Tell me in the comments below. I really want to know, do you think this is just a hot start, or is Victor Oladipo the star for the Indiana Pacers going into the future? You guys tell me in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.